Hey guys, I wanted to do a movie review on Foxcatcher and talk about wrestling. I just got back from riding my bike, so a bit of a mess here. But if I don't record this, it won't get done. I did scribble some notes down, so let me just go through these. Foxcatcher, very similar to Birdman. It's a multi-layered film. And there's a lot of things going on, even though the pacing is rather slow. Um, so if you don't like particularly kind of slow movies, this might not be up your alley. But I really think it should have been an Oscar contender, I believe. Just it's that caliber of film, and very interesting. I don't need to get into the plot line. I'm actually going to talk about some of these layers that are in the movie. The one that stands out the most to me to talk a little bit about is the John DuPont character. And we don't know if this is all factual in the movie or not. It says it's based off of a true story. You've heard it all. You've heard it all before. But who John DuPont is very much um, a real a personality, and he plays this sort of magician archetype where he's very much into power and energy and leadership, and that he's got to be leading men, and that he's got to be respected, and he wants to pass on this sort of upright citizenry of being an American and being patriotic. These are some of the things that he often talks about, and he has the Foxcatcher farm where the gym is set up for the wrestlers, and they they show the interior of the estate, some of the buildings, the big house, and some of the other areas, and they're very much like proper settings in Elizabethan times, and the mother in the film, John DuPont's mother, is sort of this frail old woman who was really into horse racing, but wrestling she doesn't really appreciate much. And so John DuPont, as this sort of magician archetype, he is around Schultz, the Schultz brothers, Mark and Dave Schultz, and he's trying to sort of take their energy and repurpose it as what he has. And so he makes these films, he has them do interviews, and he sort of forces them to say things on camera that he is a father figure, and he's a mentor, and he's a coach. And this all kind of breaks down at a certain point because everybody realizes he's a phony. He's not athletic. He can't compete in the realm of training and pentathlons and these kinds of things that he's interested in. And in fact, he's doing cocaine and drinking whiskey, and seems rather aloof to this fact. And that's kind of the shadowy side of the archetype, the magician archetype. So it can take in power, and its dark side is it can use that to really fuck you up, and it can become its own source of material, like in this film, and it's using this sort of darker side of the archetype to um, draw people in, only to leave them as desiccated husks after the magician is through taking all the energy out of this person. So there's a lot of this dynamic, and it takes a while for the movie to blend and build and sort of create this character. But as it goes on, it becomes more obvious that he is just in his own fantasy world, while creating it is also participating in it and thinking this is real, thinking that he really is this amazing coach. And so that brings me a little bit into my second area of mentorship and coaching and wrestling. So, I wrestled in high school, and I had JV and varsity, and I had two coaches. I had Coach Kuntz, and I had Coach, started with a B. I can't remember his name right now. Anyway, it's really the lessons of wrestling and being on the mat and being in a team and being an individual within the team that this movie does a great job of, I think, getting into some of the wrestling mental states, I guess, that a person finds themselves in while they're a wrestler. And there's a binge eating scene, and there's training and just working it on the mat and doing drills. And I mean, you can learn this with anything. I mean, these lessons, you could learn them in basket weaving. It doesn't really matter. It's focus, concentration, intentionality, training, gradual progression, and ability and skill. And I think DuPont had a thing he was telling the team around. He gives, none of his monologues are all that memorable in the movie, actually. Anyway, so my experience wrestling, we said expect to win always. Oh, I remember what it was. John DuPont says, if you go into a match and you think you'll win, you'll win. And this has really been disproven, but overall, the power of a positive attitude is certainly a good thing. And so he's talking to people about this at the movie. And, I remember in 6th grade when Kurt Angle, no, actually, I think I was in 8th grade when Kurt Angle won the gold in 1996. He came to our school, and I actually looked for this autograph because I'd still have it. And he talked about the gym, and he came around to all the different schools, and he had a video, and it showed him lifting weights, and it's pretty funny to watch it. To set to music, and he's like, "You can do it. You can go for the gold too." So anyway, it was nice to meet him, and then he, from Pittsburgh, and he was bopping around on TV there doing the Angle on Sports, where he was kind of a lug nut, talking in front of a camera. I was not very good, so. No, I mean, I think now he's actually like a WWE champion or something. And, that was part of it too, is there was this culture of fake wrestling and real wrestling. And this Foxcatcher is about the real wrestling. And, they're both real in their own ways. It's just that the outcomes of real wrestling is not scripted. The outcome of a fake wrestling match is scripted. I guess Bret Hart might disagree with that over Montreal, but in the long run, they're both pretty fun things as a kid. You can kind of get into them, and it's cool that Kurt Angle's still doing stuff around wrestling. So, yeah, he actually trained with Dave Schultz, and Dave Schultz and Kurt Angle worked together back in he said it was in Duquesne, I think, where they were going to college or something, but he considers Dave Schultz a trainer, and if you look at Kurt Angle's Wikipedia page, it actually has Dave Schultz listed there too. So yeah, just something to think about with, and it's a good movie to watch. I really was on my mind for quite a while, and I might come back to this eventually. But yeah, thanks for watching.